Once again, it's the Lionz Den Radio Show. Hey, if you want to call in, 407-494-5479. That's 407-494-5479. We finna get into the topic tonight. Well, no, we actually gonna go over some current events. If y'all didn't know, Freaknik, the Freaknik documentary is coming out, and black women all over the world are up in arms. They mad as hell, right? Because they like, hey man, I did that, understanding that it wasn't no Twitter, it wasn't no Instagram, it wasn't no this. So y'all can't put my business out like that. No. Hey, give me that Matthew. I think it is where it says nothing hidden that won't be seen or manifest. Somebody find that for me, and then we gonna read this article. So pretty much they documenting the 1994. I'm guessing that's the original Freaknik. And they going into it, and black folks are nervous as hell.
Matthew 10:26.
You got it?
Yes, sir.
All right, read it.
The book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 26. Fear them not, therefore, for there is nothing covered.
There's what?
For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed.
You see that? There's nothing covered that will not be revealed. Y'all thought y'all was good. Y'all probably be judging all the little fast young girls today that's twerking on Instagram and on Snapchat and everything else. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, you was doing the same thing.
Right.
It just wasn't no MySpace. Wasn't no Twitter back then. You thought you was good.
Spring break 98.
Right. All y'all had to worry about was girls going wild, but they only did white girls.
And MTV.
Right. So now y'all getting exposed. But go ahead, read this.
Hey, Cap, but you're gonna have a 35-year-old grandma.
Yep.
That's gonna be exposed.
There you go. Go ahead, read that.
It says, here's why Hulu's upcoming Freaknik documentary is making some black folks nervous. With recent reports of some black women professionals suing the streamer over the forthcoming feature, it's worth truly examining why.
Now, this is what I want y'all to notice. It says black women professionals.
Wow.
This is what I want y'all to understand. Guess what? If you ain't came into the commandments of God, you still that same Freaknik sister from back in the day.
Damn.
And that's why a woman at a lower state, because y'all the same woman that was on the Freaknik that now running the companies. You got all these degrees, so on and so forth. And I'm going to back it up with a scripture. Give me Isaiah 1 real quick, and then we're going to read the rest of this article. Isaiah 1 and, is it 1, 3, and 12? My bad. Isaiah 3 and 12.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 3 and verse 12.
Because what's going on? These women are now, they in high places. They may be politicians. They may be general managers. They running business. Like, no, I don't want to be seen in that light. No. That's who you is. Yep, pastors. All these different positions. Go ahead. But the funny thing is they don't want to be seen like that. But guess what? 99% of all the women today, they still doing the same stuff.
Right.
And it ain't no problem, but now you want to try to cover up and keep that facade that you don't build up over the last couple of years.
Cap, you remember a while back, the sister who was twerking talking some vote for us.
Oh, yes.
Senator McCain.
Right.
Straight
it wasn't no problem. Everybody was excited about that.
Right.
But now I guess they think they above that. Nah, sister, you on the same level. Go ahead. Read that.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 3 and verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors.
Children are our oppressors. Read.
And women.
And what?
And women rule over them.
Now, why do you think the children are oppressing us? Because these same sisters that was at the Freaknik, that's who's raising these wild ass kids.
Damn.
That's right.
That's who's running these businesses, so on and so forth. Go ahead, read.
O my people, they which lead thee.
They which lead thee, our pastors, our politicians, our mothers, read.
Cause thee to err.
You see that? Y'all caused us to err. Y'all created this generation.
Right.
The black single woman, the same ones that was at the Freaknik, y'all have created these monsters.
Right.
Read.
And destroyed the way of thy past.
And destroy the way of thy past. Go ahead, read the rest of this article.
Sir.
Freaknik babies.
Go ahead and put that up on the screen.
I freaked at the Freaknik 94.
Babies.
Damn.
Scroll down.
The Cart Malone?
All right, there we go.
The mailman. Last week, last week we told you about Hulu's plan to release its forthcoming documentary centered around the highly popular and widely criticized, but more on that later, 80s through 90s festival, Freaknik. While an official trailer for Freaknik The wildest party never told has yet to be released. The streamer says that the upcoming project recounts the rise and fall of a small Atlanta HBCU picnic that exploded into an influential street party and spotlighted Atlanta as a major cultural stage. Can the magic of Freaknik be brought back 40 years later? Sounds straightforward and unintimidating enough, right?
Now remember, they tried to bring it back 3 or 4 years ago. We went up there, blasted it, and it got rained out. Go ahead, read that.
I didn't know that was a HBCU event.
You're right. Yep, it all started out.
Whoa.
Yep.
Wow.
Go ahead, read it.
Well, it's unfortunately now proving to be intimidating for some who experienced Freaknik during its heyday, namely black women.
Read that again.
Namely black women.
Namely black women. Because, and you know what also this validates? Is that y'all understand the behavior that y'all act, y'all know it ain't right.
Right.
You know it ain't right. Meanwhile, you won't say nothing to these sisters that walk around half naked.
Exactly.
That's having multiple children outside of wedlock, that come out the house in spandex and mini skirts. Y'all don't say nothing to them.
Right.
Right.
But meanwhile, when you finna get exposed, now you see what it is
right.
for what it's worth.
Right.
Y'all are hypocrites, man. Read.
Because they're worried that their arguably reckless actions from back in the days will be broadcasted for the entire world to see. And if that is the case, they're also worried about what the implications and consequences will look like as a result of it. Because misogyny is an unfair judge.
Nah, it ain't. Now they want to blame it on misogyny. You see that? Boy, I tell you, boy. Now it's misogyny for a man to want a woman that has high moral standards.
Wow. Right.
Wow.
Meanwhile, if you're a black man and you don't have high standards of morals, you get fired. You get written up. You get let go of.
Right.
But if we ask the same thing out of a woman, now that's misogyny.
Right.
That ain't your business having a certain level or a certain standard.
Your toxic masculinity.
Right. It's toxic masculinity when you try to hold a woman up to a standard.
Right.
Go ahead.
In fact, in addition to numerous tweets and even TikTok videos of some black women speaking out about their nervousness for the upcoming doc, a handful of prominent black women professionals are even considering taking legal actions against Hulu.
Y'all see how far it's going? They saying they're going to get the law. They saying take that to the trial. Take that to the trial.
They finna tell him,
crazy.
shut up and twerk.
Right.
That's what they finna tell him.
Scroll down.
It's because it said they black women professionals.
Yep.
They in the corporate world.
Yep.
They trying to present themselves as professional now.
Right.
And they getting exposed.
Yep.
They past is coming back on. Can I get a script real quick?
Yeah.
Go to Ezekiel 23:2.
Bring it out.
Ezekiel 23:2. We're going to talk about the mentality of these sisters that want to be professional, because like Cap was bringing it out, they passed it back to the generation now. Where you think you get the mentality of a Cardi B and a Nicki Minaj?
Right.
Read it.
The book of Ezekiel chapter 23 and verse 2. Come on. Son of man, there were two women, the daughters of one mother.
The daughters of one mother. This is northern and southern kingdom. These are the daughters of Israel. Read.
And they committed whoredoms in Egypt.
They committed whoredoms in Egypt when? Let's read.
They committed whoredoms in their youth.
They committed whoredoms in their youth. They was out there young and buck wild, shaking it, twerking. Luke was out there, and they was getting it in.
Too much.
Yeah, exactly. Read.
There were their breasts pressed.
There were their breasts pressed. Read.
And there they bruised their teats of their virginity.
So y'all can fill in the blanks. Yep. They was out there being wild, doing the most.
Right.
And now when the evidence is coming back on them, because like Cap said, there wasn't no Twitter, no Facebook, all that stuff. But guess what? Somebody had a video camera.
VHS.
And guess
and
what?
they can download it now.
And guess what? And that lets you know, even if they did have cameras, they would have did the same thing.
Same thing.
They would, because they obviously they had cameras because they doing a whole documentary over there. Somebody had a camera.
Somebody had a camera.
Somebody had an Android back then.
Cap said there was a film student somewhere up in there.
Right. I ain't seen the doc yet, but obviously they found it.
To that precept, can I get one? Just one.
Bring it up.
Going. All right, Sirach 25.
Bring it up.
2 and 3.
Go ahead.
Because that goes along with what you were saying. They abused their body in their youth. We went to the Tampa Blitz. I seen an old woman walking with a cane. see-through. Let's just say that.
Right.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. She was
was
old, bro.
She had a cane.
She was old. Could barely walk.
Damn.
Refused to retire that thing.
She didn't want to hang it up.
Put the cane down.
Oh Lord, hang that vagina up.
The Lord got a message for you, old.
Damn.
Go ahead, read that.
So, chapter 25 and verse 2. 3 sorts of men my soul hated, and I'm greatly offended at their life. A poor man that is proud, a rich man that is a liar, and an old adulterer that doteth.
An old adulterer that doted.
Damn. Hey, shalom, caller. What's your name? Question or comment? Where you calling from?
Shalom, my name is Natasha. I'm calling from Brooklyn. The comment I wanted to make is that most of these women were from the Freaknik are probably partying with their daughters right now.
Damn.
I'm pretty sure on the weekends they're in the club with their daughters, so I don't know what they're complaining about.
Damn. Wow. That's a heavy point. Appreciate you for calling in, sis.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Yeah, that's what you was talking about, Cap. They created these monsters.
Yep.
They created these how you think I got this ring type of women.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? That's what they created.
As the mother is, so is the daughter.
There you go. I'm gonna go there after we finish that scripture for Lahad. He said he wanted 2 and 3.
Oh, verse 3. My bad.
So an old adulterer that doted. Most I hate those. Read.
If thou hast gathered nothing in thy youth, how canst thou find anything in thine age?
So, sister, your past is coming back.
There you go.
So how you gonna expect something to be different? You was a hoe before,
right?
You're a hoe now, and you're teaching your daughter to be so.
There you go.
Right.
Like you say, I guarantee. Check their daughters. They doing the same stuff. And you know how we know it's true? Just look at social media.
Right.
Just look at social media. Because they do the videos where you got the daughter doing the dance and then the mother doing the dance.
Right.
They doing the same thing.
Right.
That's crazy.
Finish this order. According to News 1.
According to News 1, 3 C-suite executives and 1 judge are reportedly planning to file a lawsuit in Atlanta's federal court on the grounds that the doc is, quote-unquote, unlawful because they didn't sign any media releases. Though no official court documents have been seen, the fact that these women are willing to go so far out of fear that the footage could potentially be so detrimental to the life they've built now all these years later is telling.
Hey, that's crazy. You willing to get a loss? It ain't even came out yet. I'm just my lawyer. Like, damn, what was you doing back in the day?
Right.
Hey, can I get one scoop on that real quick?
Yeah.
Proverbs 30 and 20, because this whole article, you didn't hear one time they said, oh, I changed my ways. I'm no longer like that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That was my past. I'm changing my life, right? So the problem is they have yet to take no accountability for their actions.
There you go.
So instead they want to go and attack somebody else and say, why did you put it out? Why you got the film, right? Go ahead.
There you go.
The book of, you said Proverbs 30:20, right?
Yeah, 30:20.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 20. Such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eateth and wipeth her mouth and saith, I have done no wickedness.
I didn't do nothing. Why you putting out that information on Freaknik? Why you put the video out? I want my lawyer. I don't want the evidence to be shown. Why? Because they take no accountability for their actions.
There you go. You 100% correct.
Oh,
100% goes back to good old accountability. Go ahead, read.
The scriptures say, where there is no vision, the people perish.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on I.U.I.C. TV. That's right. I said on I.U.I.C. TV.
Do you know your history?
I'm going to show you and prove to you that the Israelites are black, were always black.
Dance for time, just move up your body. Don't get loose and groove on the body. Bruise, wine.
Put on the armor, the procedure complete. Me nah go back, nah retreat. All traitors, every Jezebel must get delete. Me no sleep on a demon, me keep a full clip. Conspire me downfall, cause them want to see me slip. Stay close to the real ones, we seal off and legit. Cause I gotta use them to keep your soul from the pit. This a war life, I swear the damn.
Scroll down. Yep.
So from the various footage and documentaries previously done about the festival, we know that it was a grand old time for some of our older sisters, cousins, and aunties to enjoy themselves, enjoy good music, dance, and connect with other black folks. Whether that connection came in the form of popping out at red lights, twerking on them headlights.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Hey,
Oh, man.
Or engaging in some otherwise NSFW activities. What's interesting to note is that the apprehension and over...
This is the key part, y'all.
That the apprehension and over this documentary is largely one-sided.
It's largely one-sided. It's because there was men out there doing stuff they shouldn't have been doing.
Right.
But guess what? The men, when they see it, they're going to say, damn, boy, it's going off.
Is that you, Grandpa?
They're going to take accountability. But the women, they want to do lost everything else. Why is that?
Right.
Because y'all don't want to take accountability.
Yep.
We ain't saying that only the sisters was wrong. We ain't saying that at all. Brothers was going the hell off too.
Right.
Raping sisters, drunkenness, whoredom, making whores out of our sisters.
Yeah.
But guess what? You know what's different about a man? He gonna take accountability.
Right.
You sisters got to learn that. Keep reading though.
Yes, sir. As previously stated, black women are the main ones getting up in arms over the fun and carefree days of their youth, being caught in 4K because they know that society unjustly issues them harshest judgment and repercussions for appearing or even acting outside the realm of respectability.
That maybe used to be a thing, but last I checked, women that act outside of perfect get rewarded.
Right.
We saw that. Last I checked, what's the name of Sierra? Dressed naked, and everybody fell in love with her.
Applauded that thing.
Beyonce is the most wickedest woman ever. She get rewarded.
Hey, Cap, they gave Megan Thee Stallion the keys.
There you go, keys to the city.
What was that, Texas?
Yeah, Houston.
Yeah. Crazy.
Hey, you know what's so crazy? It said it's caught in 4K. It wasn't no 4K back then. Right.
They uploaded.
He done came and uploaded.
This is the remastered version.
Right. Zoom in.
Right.
Wow.
Damn. Go ahead, keep reading.
Yes, sir.
Read a little faster.
Yes, sir. But what's important to note is that Freaknik wasn't just attended by black women. It was also attended by black men, our older brothers, cousins, and uncles, who were engaged in similar behavior, but also may have also been engaged in some of the more nefarious happenings, namely rampant sexual assault and rape as well. In fact, in the week since Hulu's announcement, Twitter has been ablaze with snippets from previous documentaries that show women and men recounting the more horrific, lewd underbelly of the festival.
So that's all I want on that. Now I want to give y'all the solution so you don't end up like this 400 years from now. Not 400 years, 40 years from now, 20 years from now. You don't want to look back at your feet. You know how brothers and sisters coming to the truth and you kind of see the evolution of them, as they repenting. Yeah. You don't want to look on your feed and see yourself with panties on twerking. It's like, I probably should take that down.
Right.
Right. You don't want every 4 years to on your remember me was you naked.
Right.
So how do you not allow that to happen? Give me 1 Timothy 2. This is the first step. Give me modest apparel. So sisters, y'all got to learn how to cover up. Then we're going to deal with the men, and then we're going to go to the next section. But we bringing this out as medicine for y'all. We really trying to help you younger brothers and sisters. You older people, you already did it. You did it. It is what it is. All you can do is repent. Y'all know it. But you younger brothers and sisters, y'all want to live this lifestyle. You want to go chase this lifestyle. We still have brothers and sisters in the truth this day. They lose their daughters. They lose their sons to the world. Right. They ain't never been in the world a day in their life, but they want to chase this. Why? Read that.
The book of 1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 9. In like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel.
That what?
That women adorn themselves in modest apparel.
Could you imagine how out of place a woman that's fully covered would be at the Freaknik?
What happens?
Would you? It don't mix. No. It don't mix together. That's why God's commandments are perfect. They allow you to avoid certain situations. Read that again.
In like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel.
So as a woman, you are to adorn yourself in modest apparel. Now give me that Sirach 7 about keeping care of her body. Sirach chapter 7, I think it's 23 or 24. Because what we just read was horrible. It was horrible. Yep, 7 and 24. Read that. This is for you fathers.
The book of Sirach, chapter 7 and verse 24. Hast thou daughters?
What?
Hast thou daughters?
If you have daughters, read.
Have care of their body.
Have a care of their body, read.
And show not thyself cheerful toward them.
And do what?
Show not thyself cheerful toward them.
What does that mean? Don't play around with your daughter. Some of you brothers and sisters may be watching, y'all in the world right now. You got teenage daughters. They should not be having a boyfriend. Right. They should not be leaving the house in coochie cutter shorts or mini skirts or bodycon dresses, all this different stuff. They shouldn't be dressed like that.
Right.
You got to have a care of their body, because any man knows a woman walk out the house like that, guess what? What type of attention is you allowing your daughter to attract?
Right.
Freaknik attention.
Right. Freaknik. 10 years later, you trying to sue Hulu.
Right.
I don't want that out there. Go read that verse again.
Hast thou daughters? Have a care of their body. And show not thyself cheerful toward them.
And show not thyself cheerful toward them. Sirach 42:8, then we're going to move on. Unless y'all got a verse. Y'all got a verse, bring it out. We got a lot more to go into, y'all. A lot of stuff going on. So the first thing I wanted to touch on was this Freaknik, because our people have lost their mind. They done lost their mind. Now they want to sue Hulu because they bringing it out. Hey, you know where they go back to? They hate him that rebuketh in the gates.
Right.
That's right. And they probably gonna glorify it in the documentary, but they know what it looks like in any sane person's eyes.
Right.
Read that.
The book
42 and 9.
49 of 9.
Yep, 42 and 9.
The book of Sirach, chapter 42 and verse 9. The father waketh for the daughter when no man knoweth.
You see that? The father's up when no man knoweth. When no man thinking about it, he thinking about his daughter. Read.
And the care for her taketh away sleep.
You see that? The care for your daughter should take away sleep. How the hell you allowing your daughter to go on a date when she under your household?
Right.
Bring it out.
How you allow your daughter to have a boyfriend? How does that happen? How low have we sunk as a people to allow these things to happen?
Right.
Y'all, there was a time where you ain't taking my daughter nowhere.
Right.
There was a term called shotgun wedding.
Yeah.
Yes. Hey, Cap, I got a story on that just happened this week, because I had to get on my daughter's mother. My daughter had a friend.
Right.
And her
boyfriend.
No. Hell no. I'd have flew back to Kansas
Just so
City.
happened to be a boy.
I'd have met y'all in Dallas from Kansas City. So she had a friend, and I got on her about the friend she's allowing her to have.
Right.
So this little girl, probably like 17,
Right.
was sneaking, having a boyfriend. She wasn't supposed to, but she was sneaking. So
Right.
she snuck out of the house 3 a.m. in the morning with another little 17-year-old little boy. That's what happens.
Yep.
He killed her, put her to death.
Damn.
He killed her.
Wow.
That happened in Kansas
Probably,
City.
yeah, happened in Kansas City. Probably trying to rape her, but he put her to death. So here my daughter all up in arms and all this stuff. I'm like, what you doing with a friend like that? Anyway?
Right.
Because you see what happens. This is the type of spirit you roll in. The Lord judges that matter.
Damn.
Hey,
That
Cat,
literally just came to my ear this week.
remember, we always be talking about how Esau tried to normalize this behavior, right?
Right.
When you remember, I remember the movie Bad Boys. The scene where the brother came to the door, was going to take the daughter out. They made it acceptable
for
to allow your daughter.
As long as you scare them.
Yeah, as long as you scare them, it's all
If he's
good.
scared, good enough.
Yeah.
But what is it? He still can knock your daughter down, get her pregnant.
Right.
She come home, and now you looking stupid.
Yep.
But those type of men are the same men that they will actually go after women like that.
Yep.
They allow that thing to keep going.
Yep.
They
want to see themselves in that young man.
Exactly.
Right. Yep. They see that self in that young man. So they're like, yeah, I know what you're doing.
Right.
It's like it's crazy.
Right.
As a man, you know what you did,
Exactly.
and you allow your daughter
Exactly.
to do the
Right.
same thing.
Right.
Speaking on that, before we read that, go to Leviticus 19, because it's a cycle. It's a cycle.
Hey, Cap, while we pulling it in the new Bad Boys movie, they were showing Martin talking to the young man. He still hadn't married the daughter yet.
Right.
He was like, when you going to make her an honest woman? And then they had the wedding.
Damn.
They had a baby too, didn't they?
They had a baby, too.
Oh, wow.
Before they got
Damn, I
married.
must have fell asleep in the movie. I don't even remember that.
Yeah, that was in there. That was in there.
Is that it? Don't make no horse?
Prostitute.
17.
Yep. Don't prostitute your daughter.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 29.
Uh-huh.
Do not prostitute thy daughter.
You see that? Y'all prostituting your daughters by allowing that cycle to continue. And we talking to all you men out there. You sisters as well. Especially you sisters. Because y'all single mothers, You know what the hell you did to be a single mother.
Right.
And you allow your daughter to leave the house. You allow your daughter to have her boyfriend come over the house. Y'all got to be sick.
Right.
Read.
Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall to whoredom.
Lest what?
Lest the land fall to whoredom, and the land become full of wickedness.
You see that? That's what's happened here in America. That's what's happened in the black and brown community. That's what's happened in the reservations.
Right.
That's everywhere in the ghettos and the slums. Our land has failed to whoredom.
Right.
Whenever they want a new fashion to roll out, who's it coming through? It's coming through the black woman.
Right.
When you want to make tights fashionable, let's let the black woman wear tights.
Right.
When you want the mini skirts, let's let the black woman wear the mini skirt.
Right.
Whatever it is, the black woman. BBLs, who's that based off of? The black woman.
Right.
All of these things is coming through our people. It's coming through the Israelites, and it's time we put a stop to it.
That's
now,
right.
1 Peter 2, 1 Peter 4. I think it's 1 Peter 4. Yeah, 1 Peter 4, and then we're going to move on. Because this whole lifestyle, the clubbing, the lasciviousness, the drunkenness, the barbecue, all of that, let me show you what God says. This is what we got to do at some point. 1 Peter 4 and 2. Yep.
Book of 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 2.
Start at verse 1.
Verse 1.
All right. Hey, shalom, caller. What's your name? Question or comment? Where you calling from?
It's a comment. I'm sorry. It's Natasha. I call again. The comment the officers made about the young girl that got killed by her boyfriend. A similar situation happened here in Brooklyn years ago when the young girl, she went out late at night and she was sneaking back into her apartment, and the father shot her because he thought it was a robber. And you know, I just thought of that. So there's a lot of dangerous kids sneaking out to, you know, date or have sex.
Right.
Just a comment.
All praise. Thank you for calling in, sis.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
All praises. So this thing is real, man. It happens all the time, y'all.
Right.
Happens all the time. Read that verse.
The book of 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 1. For as much then as Christ hath suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind. For he that had suffered in the flesh had ceased from sin.
Read.
That he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lust of men.
You see that? We can't live the rest of our lives in the flesh of the lust of men. Read.
But to the will of God.
But to the will of God. Read.
For the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles.
What we're reading about, what we saw in 94 all the way up to today, that was the lust of the Gentiles. Let's see what the lust of the Gentiles is. Read.
When we walk in lasciviousness.
When we walk what?
In lasciviousness.
In lasciviousness. When you walking around twerking on a flashlight, you twerking on stoplights, you just having sex with random men, you doing all this different stuff, that's fornication. Read.
Lust.
Lust.
Excess of wine.
Excess of wine. What do they do at these places? They get these girls drunk. The men are drunk.
Put Molly out her champagne.
Right.
She didn't even know it.
Right. Read.
Revelings.
Revelings. That's what we're reading about. We're reading about the Freaknik in the Bible.
Right.
Read.
Banquetings.
Banqueting. That's what it started as. What? HBCU what? Barbecue. A picnic.
Party.
And the right do well. Read.
And abominable idolatries.
And abominable idolatries. Read.
When therein they think it strange that ye run not with them.
You see that? They think it's strange that you don't run with them. So to you young brothers and sisters out there, y'all got to abstain from this. A lot of y'all go off to college. Some of y'all make it through. Some of y'all don't. But they going to think you strange when you ain't doing what they doing. Read.
With them to the same excess of riot, speaking evil of you.
And they're going to speak evil of you for doing that thing. Understand that. So let's go to the next article. Next article.
Hey, Cap.
Yeah.
I want to bring out a scripture.
All right,
but,
go ahead.
It's just Psalms 58. I'll just summarize it. But pretty much how the scriptures say, our enemies, they lay traps, right? And they search out iniquities. They do a diligent search. You got to think about what would be the benefit of them putting this documentary out. You know what I'm saying? Like, for some of our people, like we just read in 1 Peter, how it says, in our time past, we wrought the will of the Gentiles. Like you said, let's say somebody was actually trying to change their life. You know what I'm saying? Now, some years ago, what this documentary may do, they may look at it and be, you know, it may reminisce of the good times. You know what I'm saying? It may put them in a state of mind to where, like Toni Braxton said, she said, I wish I could have been more of a whore back in my past. Like, you know what I mean? So you never know what the purpose of this thing's for, but it's always for the detriment of Israel.
Right.
Our enemies always got a purpose behind what they do.
I.U.I.C teaching marriage. Put it out.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? To push that spirit of whoredom on our people.
What is a nation? Nation is men leading by example.